and welcome along and welcome back to Haut-Beyleron. It is the second day of March and we have sunflowers to finish off planting today, so that's what we're going to be doing. We have a decent number of sunflower seeds still. We're at 56%, but our seed usage is a little bit higher now that we are into the silty clay. I'm very much hoping that we have enough of both the sunflowers and the fertilizer for this. I think we will do. I think that there's a decent amount in here, and with any luck we will we'll make it to the end of this field for both of them. One thing was noted last time is that we've got some fertilizer. Several people told me in the comments actually that we got some fertilizer in our solid spreader, and we're basically saying to me, don't sell it, you'll need it. Yep, absolutely. And what we'll need it for is because this only gets us so far. The planting we're doing, the fertilizer we're doing at the same time as we're planting. It will still need a boost after this, and any fertilizer we have left over in the seeder after this will go quite nicely with the fertilizer we've got in our solid spreader. That will allow this to be topped up when we hit sort of the first growth stage. If we do it at that point, we've got sensors on the Z-Tor that will allow us to then do that and get that in a good way. So yeah, we're looking pretty good as far as all that goes, and we should be able to get this field up to its full potential as a result. Going across the slope of the field like this definitely seems to be the way to go. It's seeding it very nicely and without too much strain on the tractor, which is great. The one thing I have noticed as I'm going across the field, especially without GPS on this equipment, is that the tractor slowly tries to pull down the slope. So if you're not careful, you end up with gaps between your rows, and otherwise, in which case it ends up using a lot of seeds to try and close them up. So I've got a couple of gaps up there where the seeder, or where the tractor, has pulled downhill a little bit and got off row, and yeah, trying to avoid that happening again, because as this is a direct seeder, it ends up using up a full width's worth of seed if you go through there, because it essentially has a cultivation application before it actually does the seeding bit of it. So it's a little bit annoying like that, using a direct seeder, going over bits that you've already planted, or going over patches where you've missed a bit to fix it can cause you issues. So I am not going to be able to refill those bits. It'll use too much seed, and I think we're going to be fairly close with our seed usage on here. Now, as I said last time, the idea of buying another bag of seed if we don't have enough is okay. I'd rather do that than buy fertilizer at the moment, but it is something I want to avoid if I can. We'd have to load it up at the shop somehow as well, and it would just be, yeah, it would just get a little bit expensive just to get another bag of seeds. Somebody did mention that the pallets of seeds would be just as realistic to load up beside without having to get the hook here and lift the big bag. And yes, very much I agree. And I'd need to check whether the prices are, in fact, I think the prices per litre are fairly similar. It's whether the pallet of seeds would cost us more to get in comparison to the big bag. One thing I kind of got right last time was the seeder. Well, sort of. The name of the seeder I got right. It is Jan and not Jan, and that is because it was founded by a Dutchman, the company, but it's South American, this seeder, so it's not something you'd overly see on a European farm like Haut-Beyleron. unfortunately. Having said that, I really like this seeder. It is absolutely perfect for what we're doing here. It's a good 5 meters, and as I said last time, you know, it's a great combination of price, power requirements, width. Oh, it's not a seeder, of course, it's a planter. But, you know, all of those things come together to make it a really cost-effective and useful piece of kit on here. So, yeah, it's very good that we've been able to import this from South America and use it here on our farm, because it's just working brilliantly, especially with this New Holland. It fits this tractor absolutely wonderfully, and is helping us get through this job quicker than we would have with anything else. With the amount of border we've got around this field, I'm actually able to leave only enough headland to allow myself to turn around on the grass on the end. It's quite a nice amount. It means we're going to have about 2 widths worth of our seeder as the actual headland to fill in, which means, I think, judging by this field, we should end up in the bottom corner down that way, which will be really good. Haven't left. Oh, we're quite wide here. Let's have a look. Did I miss any? I did. See, this is the thing. I can go back and correct this. I can go back and add this bit in, but I'm fairly sure that our seed usage down this section here, because I've got a direct seeder, I think it's unseeding and then reseeding that section, basically cultivating the field and redoing it, which is incredibly annoying because, of course, it uses a whole lot of extra seed to do that, and just means that we run lower on seed as we're doing it, which is, yeah, incredibly annoying. Could mean, with as close as we are here now, because we've only got 25% left of the seed in the seeder, that we might end up having to buy a big bag. I'd really rather not do that. I want to try and conserve our money a bit. Although, having said that, we do have some production stuff to sell today. So once we get this planted, these sunflowers, what we'll be doing is getting the flour. We've got 3 pallets of flour to get delivered down to the bakery. We'll be taking the bread from the bakery down to the farm shop, because that's the only place you can sell bread. And then we're going to pop back here. We've got a couple of pallets of tomatoes at the moment. If we're lucky, we might get a 3rd one out by the end of the day. So, yeah, that would just be a great amount of produce to take in. And that'll probably boost our money back up. So, yeah, the less we can spend today, the better. And then we'll see where that leaves us at the end of the day with the produce too. Something we're not going to be able to do on this field before our first stage of growth is roll it. And now I'm not sure how much effect rolling still has in precision farming. I know it doesn't give a fertilizing stage, but I think it does give a boost to the yield. The problem we have is, A, we don't have a roller on the farm, and B, we are just going to be out of time. We have got well, as I said, we've still got a load of production stuff to do today, and even getting these fields done and then rolled on top, I don't think that's possible. I might be able to get a roller, hire a roller, but it's not going to be overly cheap, and yeah, we're gonna have to get it up here before the end of the day in order to do it. Wow, I got a little bit off my line on that last run, and yeah, it's gonna take us again, money. It'll take money to get a hired worker on here to roll this in, and it'll take money to get the roller as well. So I don't know if the 5% boost from it is going to be worth it. Certainly there are things next year that I would do differently. compared to this year. We should have put lime on here. We should have got the pH up a bit, and we haven't managed to do that this year. And we should have got we got the field rolled as well. I'm not sure if this field counts as mulched either, because we put the power harrow over it, but I think that basically created a seed bed rather than actually did any mulching. Let's give it a quick check, I think, and see what happens. So just gonna back this up here, get us moving on the next row. Actually, while we're down here, there's another problem I want to fix. So does our field count as mulched? There we go. Growth, weeds. Weeds is something we're going to have to deal with that we don't have at the moment, thankfully. Yes. I might have actually gone over and mulched, but yes, definitely these fields are mulched. So that's good news. We got a couple of big stones in this field. You can see here. There's one set there and a couple of patches there. Nothing massive to worry about. Yeah, the whole thing needs rolling, and we're just not going to be able to do it by the time we have got this planted. I don't think there's going to be enough hours in the day to get the roller on here and get that done. Now, the other problem I was talking about, you can actually see from inside in the window here. We've got fairly flat on the field at this point. We're coming to the bottom of the valley. But that corner there, that is not. We've got this large bump here, followed by this big bottoming out here. So before I go any further, I want to get that smoothed and sorted. So let's pop into the shop, into construction and landscaping. And yeah, we just want to get this area here sort of smoothed out. And let's take this pretty big and just see if we can't smooth this out a bit. That is quite a lot of money, but yeah, look at that. Still a little bit of a dip down here, but that is much smoother, and will do us a lot better. And yeah, we'll make this whole field easier to work. I just did a little test, see what happens if I reseed an area and compare it how fast my seeds go down on an area I hadn't planted to one I had. And actually, it makes no difference. Or it does make a difference. The seeds went down much slower over an area where I had only a very small bit to do. So I was wrong earlier. Using a direct seeder does not affect it in the way I thought it did, which is great because it means we've got a couple of long patches. You can just see them up towards the top of the hill that I can go and fix in a minute, which is brilliant, and means that we won't have any big patches on the field. Also means that whatever amount of seeds we've had to do to this field is always going to be the amount that we would use. So it doesn't matter how much I overlap or anything like that. It'll always be that amount, which is slightly worrying because we are down to our last 98 liters. We've only got 7% left in the tank. I'm not sure this is going to be enough seed to get this field done. So yeah, I think we're going to have a trip on the shops on our hands just to go and grab a few liters of seed to get this field finished. This corner is much easier to work now that it's been smoothed. It's just, yeah, sitting there rather nicely, and the seed is going over it pretty easily. Having said that, this seeder is pretty good in that it bends in the middle. So if you do have a bit of ground that's a little bit more uneven, the seeder will, the planter, sorry, I keep calling this a seeder. The planter will actually adhere itself to those contours, which is really useful, and just looks awesome. We, though, are very shy on seeds now. We are down to our last 25 liters. We're going to have to pop down to the shop and grab some more seeds. Because, yeah, there are not enough for this planter to do these headlands. We might have enough to just finish this, the main body of this field. I think one more row will do that, and give us a good place to then go and load this up, or go and get some seeds to load this up, and be able to finish this field off. But yeah, it's going to cost us at least, I think it's £800 for the big bag. I don't know how much it is for the pallet with the bags on. But yeah, we are coming to the end of the field. Well, coming to the end of the main body, and we are down to our last 10 litres of seed. There we go. 8, 7. Yeah, that'll do it. So 6 litres left. I'm going to turn this off though. And, oh, hello car. Right, let's get this back down. Stop beeping me. Let's get this back down to this bit of the field up here. Yeah, there you go. You can see it adhering to the contour there. And we're going to head up here first. So we'll get this loaded from here. Down with that. Open that up. I'm going to put this back in 8th. Ready for us to get going when we come back. We'll turn the whole thing off. And yeah, I'm going to take my truck down to the shop, and we'll go and grab ourselves some more seeds. The biggest issue I've got down here is going to be, how am I going to load either the pallet or the big bag onto this? I think we might have to get something for the shop. Now, a few times people have suggested that I get a forklift and buy it for the shop. So we might do that. We might, rather than leasing it, I think we might add it in. So let's have a look at first at the price of big bags versus pallets. So £800 for a big bag of seeds, which is 1,000 litres. Versus, where are you? There we go. £950 or an extra £150 for an extra 50 litres. That's more expensive, and is far more than we need. So I think what we'll do is we'll go with the big bag. Is the way to go. Right, so I want to buy one of those because we don't have a lot of field to do. And let's turn this on and get the back open. And what I'm going to do is do something I do very rarely. We're going to grab a forklift for the shop. I'm going to use, are those? Yeah, so those are electric. We're going to use the Manitou. It's 37,000. So I'm going to add that in and get that bought. So this is for the shop. It doesn't belong to our farm. It's just here to enable stuff to be purchased and loaded up. And yeah, we'll be parked down here and leave it down here. As many people have said in several other videos, shops like this would have a piece of equipment like this to load stuff up. And I have had it in series like that before. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Oh, come on, get under that for this. And it'll just stay here, and it will be for loading up stuff at the shop. And is still a realistic thing. We just mustn't include it in the value of our farm when we eventually come to work that out. Right, then this can park around the back over here. Like so. And is part of the shop. And we can get this back down to our farm. Oh, wow. That needs strapping down. Right, let's get this back down to the farm and get our seeder refilled. I mean, planter. It's a planter. Let's get our planter refilled. Oh, do you know what? I use seeders so much more than I use planters that it's just second nature for me to say anything that's putting seeds in the ground is a seeder, and it's not, of course. There is a difference between how this piece of machinery works and how a seeder works. And I like to try and be accurate in these videos, if nothing else. And it's actually one of the reasons why I am, I'm happy for people to correct me when I get something wrong. Because it only ever improves the accuracy and improves how informative the videos I make are. So, never feel bad about giving me a piece of advice or a bit of information about realism, because I'm always happy to take that on board, and if it improves the videos, that's even better. So that's always fantastic. Right, we've loaded all of the seed back into our planter, so let's get the equipment back to the farm, and then we're going to crack on with these headlands. And you can see now why I decided to go across the field rather than up and down the longest edge, because this is the steepest part. I mean, the field does slope towards that direction, but it's a far gentler slope than this bit here, where the tractor is struggling so much more to actually get the planter working on here. But it does do it. It does handle it. It's just other machinery that we've had a little bit of trouble getting this field done. I'm pretty happy though. This is working really well with this. And as we reach the top, we should switch over to the loam, and you'll see the variable seed rate just drop. Yeah, there we go, down to 10 seeds per meter squared from 14. I think if I was to plan my farm again, post precision farming, what I would probably do is build the farmyard at this lower end of field 20. Is this? Yes, lower end of field 20 here. There's quite, a nice large bulge at that corner, at that bottom corner where we flattened the field out a bit, and you could build quite a nice farmyard in there. It's on the silty clay lands, so you're losing some of the less good land to doing that, and as a result, you're a little bit better off. And then where we've got our farmyard now, where the land is all loam and would work really well in increasing the yield, you then you then extend field 17 into that area and get a much better yield than you would off this piece of land here. So it's really interesting how my plans for here would change now, knowing what I know from the soil with precision farming. Our final bit of headland, and we have got a really good width actually down here. It's been fairly good in keeping everything nice and even. A good bit of headland on here as well. As I said, I've just got a couple of bits to clear up here, and yeah, we should be able to go over those and just sort that out. Just because that will make our field nice and complete. But all in all, that has been a good job. So I'm going to get those cleared up, and then we'll head into the yard, and we've got a bit of production stuff to do to get our bread sold, and to get our flour into the bakery, and yeah, to get some tomatoes sold as well. So that's all the seeding on the sunflowers done. We're just going to return this to the yard. It is 20 to 5 in the evening, so it's been a good long day's work to get those sunflowers in. But with that job done and dusted, we're looking pretty good. I think we're probably going to have weeds to sort out, and we're going to have some fertilizing to do over the coming days, just to get those bits finished off. Right, now what I want to do is get stuff loaded up. I think what we're going to load up first is the tomatoes. We'll get them over to the farm shop and get that done and dusted. How many have we got? If we've got 2 at the moment, I wonder how close we are to a 3rd. And whether it's worth actually going down to do the flour first. Let's go and have a look over here. Nope, we've got a 3rd, so a 3rd has generated recently. So we might as well load up these and get those done. I do love about this this box set is that I can just leave it there as something to load up and then go and get my truck afterwards. Makes the TLX just a really, really versatile piece of kit. I mean, to the point... Oh, wow. I think that loaded... Yeah, that's loaded some in there already. To the point where we are able to... We could get more than one of these. More than one of these boxes. And put one over here for the tomatoes... one down at our... Well, I wouldn't put one down at the bakery. I would put one... Well, I'd be tempted to, actually. We put one down at the bakery where the bread just automatically gets loaded into it. Would be really good. Alternatively, yeah, we've got all this flour up here. So we could put one near our windmill as well. And just make things a little more versatile. The only downside to this... is this fact that we can only put one product in at a time. Because it'd be great to go down to the bakery now and grab the bread and put that in here as well. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not to be. It would be really useful though. All right, let's grab the last one of this, and then we can just put this into here. And then that is that done. And then next we're going to have the flour to get into here to take down to our bakery. But yeah, getting rid of the perishables I think is only a good thing for the farm. Yes, we won't get the best price for them. But it is going to give us a steady income every month. And we are looking to sell the perishables on a monthly basis of full pallets. So, for example, over here... We've got a whole load of eggs. We've got less than a full pallet, and therefore we don't need to sell these right now. Something people have told me: leaving these big bags here does not feed the chickens. Yes, I am very well aware of that. The whole reason why these are here is for me to easily feed the chickens. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner the actual amount of feed the chickens have, which is currently 159 litres. If we look in our animal screen, you can see here that they don't have a lot of food, but they have some food. And yes, this is not going to automatically feed them. I will need to get back over here with the big bag loader. Right, let's get the back off of this. Oh, wow, that's not the most visible. That's because I'm looking at it wrong. There we go. We do need... Before somebody says it, we do need to get a pressure washer on here. We only have 300,750 on here at the moment. So that is not going to be enough to get one on here at the moment. So, yeah, we will be doing that at some point. We'll have enough to buy one today, but I do have other uses for the money first. For a start, we're going to have to hire a combine in the near future, and we may have to buy more fertilizer as well. So, oh no, wrong button. There we go. Close that up. Right, let's get these tomatoes down to the shop, and then we can get back up here and get the flour. So 1,500 litres of tomatoes. Get in here and drop these off. This should give us a little bit of cash. I don't know exactly. So we're at 3,075. Let's open up the back of that, unload these tomatoes, and that is just under £1,500 for those. That's really good. So I want to go back down to the farm. We'll load up the pallets of flour now, and then we will get those down to the bakery so that we can unload those and load up the bread. This TLX is so versatile and so useful. It's just, yeah, I love it. I love the fact that we can use the pickup bed for a gooseneck trailer as well, as I was saying last time. It will work just so well on the farm for doing things like, well, taking straw bales. If we want to go and sell the straw bales. There was one suggestion I could just put the straw into our silo and then unload it from there and sell it as loose straw. And not overly realistic for two reasons. One is, yeah, you'd be chopping a load of straw bales to put into a silo, which I don't think is the way you do it. And B, our silo is a single crop silo. We only have one, and we only put one crop in there at a time. We have had the barley in there until recently, but we've now emptied all of that out. And this year it's going to be the single crop of sunflowers. Any excess sunflowers that don't fit in, or any crops that we go and do a contract on that doesn't fit into our windmill, we're going to need to put into the silos. So I don't want to muck around with straw really with that. Okay, so that is our flour loaded up. We're going to put the tractor back and then we'll head down to the bakery. Okay, so we'll just draw this in here. We've got a couple of pallets of bread to sell today. So let's unload the flour. That should now give us, I think we've got a lot of flour in here to keep us going for a while. Yeah, 51,070 litres of flour. I really want to bake some cakes, but we need sugar and milk and butter. Milk and butter is something that I'm planning to do. Sugar, I think, unless we can get a small production facility, which a couple of people have suggested that there are, I think there's a specific small production pack. Then I think sugar is going to be a difficult one. Dairy, I've got a small dairy for the farm that I can do, and milk similarly. We can just get a small cow pasture. Right, that's those loaded up. So yeah, plenty of options from the dairy and milk side and butter side of things. But getting actual sugar, I think, is going to be a much more difficult proposition. And here we are at our destination. Let's bring this through here, over here, and as we did with the tomatoes, this needs selling around the back. So there we go. Open up, sell off the bread for 5,809 plus 2, so over 6,000 thanks to our environmental score. That's brilliant. I am very, very happy with that. And that is a really good place for us to end it for today. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.